Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Inside Berm podcast. I am your host, Jake Keel. We are here for Inside Berm Weekly, live every Wednesday. We were out last week because I got a tooth removed on Wednesday, and I got a sinus infection the same day. So I have been out of commission. I didn't go to the racetrack this weekend. I stayed at home, and I've been at home almost all week. We've barely left the house, and let's just say I'm so excited to be back behind the camera, behind the mic, and ready to talk racing once again. It's been a crazy week. There's been a lot of news going on, and I'm excited to talk about it. But there's one thing that's been there's one thing that has been talked about the most. Well, one person, that's Kyle Larson. I mean, what you're saying, Jake, what's new? We talk about Kyle Larson all the time. What's the deal with that? Well, it's he's seemingly able to do it all now. I mean, first we started talking about with the waiver news. He ran the Indy 500 instead of going to the Coke 600. Then it was, will NASCAR give him a waiver? The answer ends up being yes. But there was a talk there for a minute that they weren't going to give it to him. And don't know why they wouldn't have given it to him. But, they really drug their feet with saying that they were going to give him this waiver, when the crazy part about it was that he brought a lot of fans to NASCAR that might not normally watch NASCAR. I know he has helped pique my re-interest in NASCAR. I've been away from NASCAR for a while now. And I don't know. It's just been a very weird couple weeks. And then he gets his waiver, and then all of a sudden he wins Sonoma this weekend. And he won it in such a way where it was undeniable he was going to grab that lead and he was going to win. He was the fastest car on the track in the closing segments of the race. There was no doubt in my mind that he was going to pull off the win, and that was the craziest part of the night. The race was wild, and it was exciting. It was one of the most exciting NASCAR races we've had in a while. One of the most exciting Sonoma races, period. That was an exciting part. But it's amazing to me that people still doubt the talent of Kyle Larson. And I've jumped right into this. I haven't even really, I've buried the lead here. I'm all out of sorts. I don't even remember how to start this show anymore. Dead air. This is the worst part of the show. I am just off. I'm way off right now. Kyle Larson, man. Kyle Larson, he wins at Sonoma, and then last night we go into the Eagle Nationals. And the Eagle Nationals, Eagle Raceway in Eagle, Nebraska. And everyone's going, oh, well, some of the Outlaws are here. They'll probably end up taking the win. We'll probably see. It's certainly not going to be Kyle Larson getting his third straight 410 win at Eagle Raceway and remain undefeated at Eagle Raceway. Oh, no, we were wrong. Kyle Larson takes the lead around lap, I think it was lap 18 or lap 19, he takes the lead. And the Macedo comes right back to him, leads lap 20. And then goes right back to Larson lap 21, and Larson takes it from there. It really looked for a second like it wasn't going to be Kyle Larson. And then Kyle Larson does Kyle Larson things. And Tony Stewart has said it best. Kyle Larson is a guy that can get in a race car and not even think about what he's got to do. And it doesn't matter what kind of race car he gets in. You could put him in a V8 Supercars race tomorrow and he'd probably be contending for a win. It's amazing. It's amazing to watch this kid. It's certainly insane. And we're talking about an Eagle Raceway where we had battles all night. There was 6 or 7 different drivers that had a shot at it whenever we were closing in on the end. And it rubbered down at the top, which is a wild thing to say most of the time, because usually when it rubbers down, it's at the bottom. But we got to this point where it rubbered down, but there was still 3 lanes of racing. And I really thought someone was going to get him at that point. There's more moisture elsewhere, but just nobody seemed to want to go anywhere else. And we have entered this conversation of Kyle Larson being the greatest of all time. And when it is all said and done, when this story is told, when Kyle Larson steps away from the driver's seat, when he steps away from NASCAR, whatever you want to say here, Kyle Larson is going to be the greatest driving talent we've ever seen. And at that point, I mean, there's going to be nobody that has done the things, that has the resume that he has. He's only a few crown jewels away from being, have won it all in NASCAR. And I really feel like once he hits those points, when he wins his Daytona 500, when he wins the Southern 500, when he wins, these big races, I think that's when we see Kyle Larson step away from NASCAR. And I think he goes full-time in a sprint car. He's won the All-Star race. I think he's won the Coke 600, but I could be wrong. But it's just insane, the races that he's put together. Now he's got 3 wins. 3 wins on the year. And we're 16 races in NASCAR. It's incredibly hard to win in NASCAR. Some of the best to do it are winless this year. But there's Kyle Larson leading the standings and is the early favorite to win a second championship. And I think he's getting ready to cement that legacy. He's won the Coke 600. I don't think he's ever won at Daytona. That's one of the really big things, is he's never won at Daytona, as far as I can see. I'm looking at his stats right now. Yeah, he's highest finish at a Daytona race is 6th as far as I'm seeing. Yeah, 6th. I don't think he's ever won at Talladega, but those are not races that you look at and go, oh, he won at Talladega. Well, he's in the conversation for the greatest ever. No, it doesn't matter. There are many people that have won at Daytona and Talladega that have never won again, who have never made a single another meaningful step in this business, and he just keeps winning. Tony Stewart said he was the greatest of all time the second he saw him dominate the 4 crown at Eldora, when he swept the night, won all 3 classes that he was in, and the guy's gone on to win in dirt late models. He's won in the Silver Crown. He's won in World of Outlaws competition. He's won with the high limits. He's won 2 Chili Bowls. He's already matched the amount of cup wins that Dale Earnhardt Jr. has. He's approaching greatness in the amount of wins that he's had. He's at 26 NASCAR wins in 346 attempts. Of 346 attempts, he has 172 top 10s. That means half the time he's finishing in the top 10. He's got 15 wins in the Xfinity Series. He's got 3 wins in the Truck Series. He's won a ARCA Menards race. He's won 2 ARCA East races, 1 ARCA West Series race. He's ran in 1 IndyCar race and put it in the top 6 to start and finished with the top 20. There's nobody better on this planet behind the wheel of a race car than Kyle Larson. And I know that I'm a dirt guy and I tend to root for dirt guys, but the dominance is here, and it's time to really start putting him in the conversation as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Because when Mario Andretti and Tony Stewart are saying this guy is the best on the planet, it's time. It's time to start saying it. And last night really cemented it. It's 2 straight wins at Eagle for the Eagle Nationals, $55,555 to win, and 3 straight 410 wins at Eagle. He's never lost at Eagle. Eagle is a tough track. Eagle is one of those ground-pounding tracks that it's hard to get a top 5. Logan Schuchart couldn't escape the C main. It's time. It's time we start talking about him being the best of the best of the best. And I do think that we will see him attempt the double again next year. This year's double left a bad taste in his mouth, and Kyle does not set out for a goal and not complete it. You know, we saw it with the Chili Bowl. Every year it seemed like he was finishing second, or something happened while he was winning. And he did not give it up until he won, and then he won it again. And I think we'll see him back at the Chili Bowl this year. I think he's got a bad taste in his mouth from last year, not even getting out of his preliminary night. So I think we'll see that again. I do want to take a moment to talk about Rico Abreu. I don't know what happened there at lap 18 when 3 cars had a tire go down. Something about a piece of debris. Larson mentioned it, that they both ran over the same piece of debris. Rico's tire exploded. His didn't. But it is heartbreaking for the number 24 team because that team was getting ready to go past Macedo for the win. They were getting ready to get past Macedo, and I don't think anybody would have had anything for Rico that night. The only other person that could have came close to Rico last night was Kyle Larson. Rico was that fast. James McFadden getting another podium, his sixth. He went sixth to third. Brad Sweet went 13th to second for a podium finish. And last night, second place finish paid 20 grand. That's almost half of what I make in a year. So I know that they've got a lot of overhead in these cars, but man, it's wild. Parker Price Miller gets a hard charger, 14th or plus 14, 22nd to 8th. And it was all Macedo and Larson. I mean, Rico really looked like a threat, but then the blown tire caused that bad finish. I was very excited for the run that Kerry Madsen had and the run that Chase Randall had. Both looked incredible. I would love to see what Chase Randall can do on a national stage. The quickest chicken. I think he's going to be somebody to watch because I think he's taking his time in his development and not rushing everything. Unlike some people that have kind of rushed into it and have seen diminishing returns. I think he's doing it the right way and the smart way. Excuse me. Like I said, I've been sick. And it's just now, yesterday was the first day I felt better in a week. Monday, I felt like my jaw was going to fall off. So, Brad Sweet still holds the championship lead, 76 points over Tyler Courtney. But Courtney there again with another top 10. I mean, Tyler Courtney, there's 3 guarantees in life, or 4 guarantees in life. Death, taxes, Tyler Courtney finishing in the top 10. It was a good run for Cy Lynch. What's been up with Aaron Reitzel lately? Is he just like falling off the planet talent wise? Remember whenever he was near unbeatable for a long time, and now it just seems like he's lucky to run in the top 20. I mean, he barely sneaked into the feature last night. He finished dead last, and I'm pulling him up on my race pass to see what his stats are for the season. Oh, he's got 6 wins this year. Well, I'll be damned. Oh, 3 in 360 competition. He's won. There's 410 win, 360 win, 360 win, 360 win. So out of all of his wins this season, 1 was in 410 competition. I don't know what's going on with him. It's kind of wild to see the drop off. I know he got bit hard with his suspension years ago, but I don't know, man. I don't know. This is something's got to give here. It's just wild. But the summer of money is upon us. Summer money is upon us. You know, it kind of gets kicked off with the Eagle Nationals. $55,000 to win. Brought out 43 cars. That's a hell of a show. And, you know, we're inching closer to the King's Royal. We're inching closer to the high limits. They're going to have their big races at Eldora here soon. I'm pulling up that. Yeah, they're going to be at Eldora in July, and that's for $100,000 to win. Silver Dollar Speedway, $100,000 to win in August. The Knoxville Nationals, the World of Outlaws is come. Their big summer of money is coming up. I'm pulling up their schedule right now to get it all correct. And they got Huset's, the High Bank Nationals, which I believe is close to 100,000 to win. If not, yeah, it's 100,000 to win. 250,000 to win. With 100,000 to win on Thursday. So, another huge deal there. Let's see. That's all late model. Late model. And Federated Auto Parts. The Brad Doty Classic. Another big paying event. I want to say they're close to 50,000 to win. They're at Attica. The Williams Grove Summer Nationals. Then you got the Ironman 55, the dual Ironman 55 races, and then you're on to the Knoxville Nationals. Why is the Kings Royal? There it is, Kings Royal. You got 2 nights at Kings Royal. The night before the Kings Royal and the actual Kings Royal, that's $175,000 to win. How much does the night before Kings Royal pay? I can't remember. $25,000 to win. I mean, there's a chance to win $200,000 there in 2 nights if you are able to pull off the win in both nights. I mean, the amount of money that's getting laid down for sprint cars right now is just insane. And it's just going to keep on getting on. So all this to say, Kyle Larson is the GOAT. We are seeing history. We're seeing history right now be made. Kyle Larson, there's never been anyone like this. There's never been anyone like this, and it's awesome to be able to see. I don't want to leave out the Dirt Late Model Dream. 100,000 to win was last week. $600,000 total. The total purse for the Dirt Late Model Dream. Jonathan Davenport picked it up. 100 laps. Domination. Leading all 100 laps and had a 6-second victory. Bobby Pierce went 9th to 2nd. And Brandon Overton rounded out the podium. I miss when we had the Prelude to the Dream. I would love to see that come back. It's kind of disappointing for me that we don't see the Prelude anymore. It was a perfect move into that week, and I miss it a lot. What's really cool about Kings Royal Week this year is that the first 2 nights are now high limit races with the double down duels and the Joker's Jackpot, and those are $12,000 to win 2 races. I believe there's 2 features July 17th, and then $100,000 to win Joker's Jackpot with the high limits. Then the next 2 nights are the night before the Kings Royal and the Kings Royal. Those go to the World of Outlaw sanction. I would bet your bottom dollar that you will see a lot of drivers from each series running both races. I can almost guarantee you, I would say almost 90% of the high limit guys will be running the Kings Royal. Just because they don't have anything scheduled for those days. The high limits are a lot more lenient on their drivers running both. I don't think they really have an issue with them running anything that's Sport of Outlaws sanctioned, whereas the Outlaws do. But they don't have another race for a few days after the Kings Royal. Yeah, they don't race again until the 23rd, and the Kings Royal is the 20th. So I would venture to say most of the high limit guys will be running that running those events. I want to see some more about these double down duels because it says ×2, and I haven't heard much about this. So I want to confirm that before we get out of here. So here we go. After what I'm looking like, that might be like a 2-day race put in one day. Twin prelims. Okay, so twin prelims. Here we go. Double down duels. All drivers will participate in twin 25 prelim night as they collect points each time on track using every lap matters point format. That will seed Thursday's 100,000 to win Joker's jackpot. So it's basically twin prelims happening at the same time. And the winner of both races gets 12 grand. That's a great night to be a high limit driver because you can really bank in a good run that night and get locked into the Joker's jackpot. So we're gonna go ahead and close out this one. I'm working on having a guest for next week. We're gonna see who I'm able to get. But don't forget, June 15th, Southern Oklahoma Speedway. We've got the modified sport mods, sport compacts, factory stocks, and eco mods, plus kids riding the race cars this weekend. It's going to be a fun event. We love to see the kids be able to ride in the race cars, do some pace laps. Admission is $15. Kids 6 to 12, $10. Seniors $10. 5 and under are free. Pit passes are $30. Gates open at 5 and racing at 7. It's always a great fun time at Southern Oklahoma Speedway. That's where I'll be at this Saturday night. Don't forget to get your Victory Fuel. Use code MONSTARPRO at checkout to get your best flavored electrolyte water, daily vitamins, electrolytes, kid-friendly, low sugar, caffeine-free, and no artificial coloring. Hit up the Patreon. I don't really push this as hard as I probably should. If you want to support us and help us increase our production value and get me to more races during the week, go to patreon.com/inside Berm. It's on the bottom of the screen as well. For as little as $5 a month, you could help us really increase our effort here at Inside Berm. And don't forget, the Fairground Speedway t-shirts are in. You can order them now via personal message on Facebook, as well as trackside at Meeker on June 21st, which is closing in. We will have hats, and next week on the show, I'm going to be debuting a special hat that we will have at Meeker. For all of you here that were watching, we want to thank you. Make sure to like, share, comment, rate the page. It helps us immensely, and we will see you next week. See you guys.